I love me a good design trend moment. It's fun to explore what's happening in the design world, the items that we're seeing on magazines, on the internet, on TV shows, etc. But the reality is we can't all buy into the trends because that could cost us a lot of money. So today I want to go into some timeless pieces that you can pick for your interior space that's really going to help it last the test of time. So you're not going to have to be spending the money to necessarily replace items just because they are no longer in fashion or you're tired of them. So this list today is of timeless pieces for your space. So the first item I want to cover is marble. Marble is a stunning material. Now, marble can be temperamental. I have mentioned this in several videos. A true natural marble can be very porous and can stain very easily. But it's really the look of marble that's timeless and also currently on trend, to be honest, as well. But it's one of those ones that will really last the test of time. So when you're thinking about marble, you can think of a man-made version to look like marble. Silestone has it, Corian, quartz. There's a lot of materials that will look like a marble. It will perform well for you. And it's one of those materials that is a classic and is really going to last you the test of time. Go ahead and spend your money on investing in something that has a marble aesthetic. You will not regret it. Just a brief pause here. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to see you back here next week for another video. When I'm thinking of a timeless interior, something that I love to think about in my space is a built-in bookcase. Something like what I have going on behind me. Although this one's not built in, it does have that appearance because it spans wall to wall. I feel like that is such a classic and timeless piece in any space. Whether you invest in a fully custom built-in or you kind of make one, out of an IKEA bookcase system or somehow with some more generic pieces, you can really create a beautiful, timeless space with built-ins. I really love that you can use them in so many different applications and really they're just never going to go out of style. I feel like with this next one, you might love it or you might hate it. It really depends on your personal aesthetic. But that is a traditional molding. So traditional moldings are great because they have that classic, timeless feel to them. The wonderful part about moldings is although they're an investment, they really do up-level a space. So if it's something that you want to bring into your space, I do feel like you will not tire of it. It is timeless, it's a classic, and it really will take your space to the next level. I feel like the first few items have been rather costly, so let's go into something that's a little bit more affordable, and that is a sisal or jute rug. This is an absolute staple in the classic trends scene. You will always see sisal and jute rugs used over and over, no matter what the style. I love using these because it matches many different aesthetics. It can be used underneath other rugs. You can actually use it as a layering technique. It's rather inexpensive to purchase one, in the grand scheme of things. And you can get them in every size, shape, and even shades of the natural, sisal or jute. So you can have some that are lighter, some that are a little bit darker. But they're just such a great staple that you can really bring into any space to really help warm it up. Something else that's really affordable to do in the grand scheme of renovations is paint. I love the fact that you can change the entire feel of a space just by painting it, honestly. This whole room would look different just in a different color. Paint is great for transforming space. When it comes to a timeless space, you do want to think about paint and think about some classic colors. So we want to think about neutrals. So when it comes to a timeless interior, we'll often see things in a white, a cream, a beige, even that grayish taupe color will really last you the test of time without having to repaint your space. But another classic color that really does stand the test of time is navy. Navy is an absolutely beautiful tone that it does absolutely come on the trend scene, but it is one of those ones that is consistent, and it is something that if you bring a navy into your home, it will really last the test of time. The way I really love to use navy is in the basement island, or perhaps in a washroom on the vanity is a great place as well. Navy is a great color to bring in on top of those neutral backdrops. So some of my favorite neutral tones from Benjamin Moore, like a classic, is Chantilly Lace. Revere Pewter is a beautiful taupey color. I also really love Pashmina. It is a gorgeous color from their Affinity collection. Another great color from the navy blue line is Newburyport Blue. I have used that several times and I really love that particular shade of navy blue. So those are some great options when it comes to a neutral and beautiful long-lasting color palette. Something that we've seen a lot of through our trends is black window frames. This one isn't going anywhere. I feel like this is a long-term trend. This is something we are going to see in our timeless interiors. Whenever it comes to stuff like black and white, those are classic fundamentals in any interior. If you opt to go with a beautiful black frame in 10, 15 years from now, I do not feel as if you will regret those decisions, especially when it comes to windows. They're quite a costly investment. So sometimes making that decision on which frame color to go with can be very overwhelming for some of my clients. So I would say if you love the look of black, no fear, black is definitely a timeless choice. And that also brings me into the basic simplicity of black and white. The beautiful thing with black and white is we see it in so many different ways, whether it's in our furniture pieces, our accents. We see it, obviously, I mentioned in the window frames, also in your area rugs or tile choices. Black and white is just a traditional item that is also currently really on trend, but it's one of those ones that will last the test of time. Now, one of the areas of your home that's a huge investment is flooring, and can sometimes be overwhelming as to what do I pick for my flooring? I don't want my flooring to age out. So when it comes to our flooring, when you're thinking about a wood floor, you really want to think of a mid-tone wood flooring. Something that doesn't have too much of a red or orange undertones, and also something that isn't too cool or like the blue-gray undertones. You really want to think of something in that mid-range, that warm, natural wood tone. That tends to match most things in a home, no matter aesthetically what you change, but also it's very timeless. You will see that throughout, the past and the present and the future, and it will really be hard to place or pinpoint when that was on trend, because it truly is a classic aesthetic. Now, when it comes to your wood flooring, of course, our traditional wide plank flooring is gorgeous, looks absolutely stunning in a space. But let's say you want to do something a little bit more creative and you want to do something that has a lot of visual interest, but of course you want it to be timeless, and with such a big investment, you don't want that money to go to waste. A really great pattern for your wood floorings or your tile flooring is a herringbone pattern. What I love about the herringbone pattern, it's a classic look that you will see in many applications. So whether your aesthetic is more modern or your aesthetic is more traditional, you can really bring in a herringbone pattern to work in both applications. Now, one thing to note with a herringbone pattern, although it's absolutely stunning, gorgeous, and timeless, it is a little bit more costly on an install because there's a little bit more weight. So something to think about if you're planning on doing a herringbone install. So something that we all have in our home is furniture. Well, hopefully we have furniture. And that can be a very big investment. And when it comes to selecting your furniture, much like your walls, you want to think about bringing in nice neutral palette. What's lovely about a neutral palette with your furniture is it will last the test of time, and you can bring in very trendy accent pieces like throw pillows, blankets, even your area rug if you want. You can bring in those other elements to change the look of the space, but by spending the money on a good quality couch in a neutral tone, you're going to get yourself that longevity and not have to be replacing it as often. And another thing to think about is if there are any wood tones in your furniture, same like your floor, to be looking at those wood tones in a nice mid-tone range. So when it comes to your timeless interior, a great item to bring in is vintage decor. I love vintage, I love eclectic, I love maximalism. I've done a lot of videos on that. So if you want to learn more about the vintage decor items that you can bring into your space, check on this video next and it will go all into it for you.